I feel like everyone has a game that they've played more than any other. A game which hardly gets boring, never gets old, and where even if you leave, you always come back. It can be one game, it can be many, but they all have something in common. They're comfortable. These are comfort games, a fairly new term for something that has existed for as long as games have. It's not a genre, but rather the games that you can rely on to relax after a busy day, that you know you will enjoy playing because you've developed a personal bond with them stronger than with others. In this video, I want to talk about what comfort games are, how they are created, and why we keep coming back. Because while every person has their own comfort game they are connected to, the way this connection happens is similar. If we understand what makes comfort games tick, well, we understand a bit about our gaming habits in the process. Hello, my name is Oldengold. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy videos like this, and here is my video on comfort games. Now, what are comfort games? I've touched on that question a little already, regarding how these games are consistently relaxing and enjoyable, but I think it needs more clarification. One thing I've noticed is that comfort games are sometimes confused with cozy games, which I get how that happened, two words starting with C that mean almost the exact same thing. There's quite a bit of overlap between the two terms, but they are not the same thing. Unlike cozy games, comfort games do not describe a genre, but a state which a game can become in a player's mind. It can be any game out there, from the slowest RPG to the fastest FPS. Whether it reaches that threshold depends on the player, their preferences, their personality, and their history with the game. It is not a title the developers can slap onto a game to make it so. It cannot be forced. A cozy game can be a comfort game, and many are, like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, but not every comfort game is a cozy game. Which is why we cannot describe comfort games simply as relaxing or peaceful. It's too broad. Instead, at their most fundamental, comfort games are games where we feel at home. Corny, yes, but true. In real life, you can feel at home in a lot of places, from quiet libraries to loud concerts, and it is just the same with games. When you enjoy something, and that something becomes familiar, it brings you comfort. This brings me to how comfort games are created, through familiarity. After we have finished the game, putting in tens to hundreds of hours into it, we become intimate with the game and everything it entails. This is when a comfort game begins to take form, when we know the game's world and systems like the back of our hand, and yet we still enjoy the experience of it. There are plenty of games out there that we finish once and put away. There is nothing wrong with this. Not every game is meant to be played forever. We gained enough familiarity and we were satisfied. Comfort games are the exception, when the familiarity is no deterrent but a draw. You know what to expect. You know what you have to do, and you are secure in your abilities to do it. That is comforting. These further playthroughs allow you to focus on other aspects of the game, see details you didn't notice before, and really bask in what the game has to offer. Now, there are some game characteristics which can help the comfort game process. Nostalgia, of course, that's always a factor, an intoxicating atmosphere, lower stakes, relaxed tone, sublime aesthetics, and music that sneaks into your head long after the game is turned off. However, these attributes are subjective, and subjectivity gets contentious. Just look at me when I share the music I'm listening to. It's an acquired taste. Games that emphasize these aspects may not be comforting to everyone, because while someone like me is drawn to these subdued experiences, to others, happiness is a warm gun. Familiarity is the closest thing we have to an objective explanation for how comfort games are created, because it is so integral to the concept and applies across genres. When I think of this connection in my own games, the first one that comes to mind is the MMORPG Guild Wars 2. In my decade of being a Guild Wars 2 fan, I've read all the books, played through the story many times over, met characters I loved, and characters I've hated. I've crafted legendaries, blinged out my characters, completed who knows how many achievements, and I put in a few hours while doing so. Needless to say, I am very familiar with the world of Tyria and the gameplay of Guild Wars 2. Yet, I am not bored. Instead, I'd say that I love it even more. All this experience has made a world that feels real, one that you understand. That is why I find myself enjoying a simple walk through the game world. Like the local coffee shop, it is comforting to be in a place you know better than most. If you've been with this channel long enough, you will remember that I made a video about RPG starter zones that discussed a similar feeling to this. I didn't realize it then, but the word I was looking for was familiar. Like Skyrim's Riverwood or Dark Souls' Firelink Shrine, these are deeply familiar locations to someone who has played these games, and so here they feel at ease. However, comfort games are not limited to RPGs and their ilk, because familiarity is bred the same in every game, through long periods of time. Take another of my favorite games, the colony sim Rimworld. Over the many hours I have played this game, the struggle to survive I experienced in my very first colonies is no longer much of a struggle. I know all the strategies, all the systems, and everything I need to do to succeed. But this knowledge does not diminish my enjoyment, but instead makes the colony building rather therapeutic. Like designing my very own ant farm, except sometimes other ants try to lay siege to it. If I want a challenge, I can just increase the difficulty, or do whatever Sips does.
What?
But most of the time, I find comfort in the standard settings I've always played. Because in heavily procedurally generated games like Rimworld, most things are the same, but every new game brings a little something new. You've seen every event before, sure, but not in every order, in every type of map, or with the same group of colonists. It is a bit of difference within the comfort of the similar. But then, if we are so consumed by these games, why do we keep coming back? We can have games we haven't finished, games we haven't even played, and yet we always return to the tried and true. But that is exactly why we do it. It is tried and it is true. There is comfort in familiarity, and after a long day of work and decision fatigue, that familiarity is what we crave. If I start a new game, I want to be hyper aware of all the new information I will receive, every game mechanic, every piece of lore, so I can better absorb the game experience. When I'm tired, that's the last thing I want to do. I feel like I would be doing a disservice to both the game and my own experience if I began with my eyes glazed over. In Rimworld and Guild Wars 2, however, I already know how everything works, so I can just relax and decompress. Don't just take my word for it. I asked a few other YouTubers about their favorite comfort game and why they keep coming back. Here's what they said. Lately, I've been loving almost anything from the Resident Evil series. It's cold and spooky at first, but once you get your bearings, learn the layout of the map, and build that self-confidence, the game looks a whole lot more beautiful. The gameplay is fluid, and it feels like a familiar place. Also, Mario Kart World. I'm currently trying to get all the characters' additional outfits, and it's been so cozy to just put 20 minutes in a session. In and out, no strings attached, just pure fun. If I had a favorite go-to comfort game, the one I constantly come back to, it would undoubtedly have to be Skyrim. For me, a comfort game is defined by familiarity, ease of jumping back into without having to spend hours relearning controls, setting, and overall just a game I can play no matter my mood. Stressed, sad, happy, tired, no matter what I'm feeling, I can find comfort in returning to Skyrim. My comfort game switches a lot, really. Usually, I gravitate towards games that give me a sense of low risk yet still accomplishing something. Right now, what's comforting to me is a couple runs on Arc Raiders or some good old Balatro. Both give me a sense of risk, but not to the point where losing it all will frustrate me. Each run allows me to get a sense of achievement, no matter how big or small the results are. Comfort games are grounded and predictable, a relief from the chaos life likes to throw our way. Now, I'm not here to say that we must indulge in comfort games all the time. We owe it to ourselves to try new things and experiences, lest we become too rooted in our habits. But familiarity is comforting, and sometimes that's just what we need. Thank you everyone for watching this video on comfort games. If you liked what you saw, consider leaving a like or comment. Let me know about your comfort games and why you love playing them. My name is Oldengold. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you in the next video.